most of you, his spiritual great-grandfather. Thakur Bhaktivinoda was a very good example of somebody who was in the householder ashram and who still perfected his life. Thakur Bhaktivinoda had 12 children. He was a magistrate and he wrote about 100 books. And in all these books, he has pointed out the message, he has conveyed the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thakur Bhaktivinoda had predicted that one day people from the whole world would come to Mayapur, the birthplace of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said one day the Russians, the Americans, they will all come to Mayapur and glorify Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So this year when 59 Russian devotees were in India, everybody was very happy because the prediction of Thakur Bhaktivinoda had come correct. Thakur Bhaktivinoda had sent his book on the teachings of Lord Chaitanya to all the Western countries. And it was he who inspired Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati to preach this philosophy of Krishna consciousness. So today I will discuss one of his very famous prayers that he has written. So instead of writing our own songs, we are so fortunate because we have the songs written by great sages. So this song is called Jiv Jago. You've heard of this before? So Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying, Jiv Jago, this song is written in Bengali, but the translation is there in Ruski. So no problem. Jiv Jago, Gora Chanda Bole, Kotan Nidra Jao Maya Pisha Chira Kole. Thakur Bhaktivinoda says, Lord Gauranga is calling. Wake up, sleeping souls, wake up, sleeping souls. You have slept so long in the lap of the witch known as Maya. So, Lord Gauranga means Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared on the planet 500 years ago. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, oh conditioned soul, please get up. Now it is time to wake up. You have been sleeping for so long in the lap of the witch known as Maya Devi. This Maya Devi is very beautiful. She is so beautiful that even though you are being kicked by her, you still say, I love you. Maya is kicking you by giving you a lot of pain. Pain through the form of birth, death, disease, old age. But we are still telling Maya Devi, you still look so sweet and beautiful. Even when we are in old age, dying in hospital, we still want to stay with Maya only. So Thakur Bhaktivinoda is using the word sleeping souls. You may say we are wide awake. We are not asleep, but we are materially awake and spiritually asleep. Materially, of course, you have very good eyesight. Materially, of course, you may be running to keep your body fit. But unless you try to establish a relationship with God, everything is a failure in life. So we have been sleeping in the lap of this witch known as Maya for a long time. Not that now you have a Russian body and suppose you're 20 years old. So only for the last 20 years you were sleeping with this Maya Devi. You have been sleeping with this Maya Devi since many births. You can't even count those births. So you cannot count the number of births that you have had in the material world. But one thing is a fact that you have been sleeping on the lap of this witch known as Maya. Bajibo bolia eshe samsara bitare, bhuliya rohile tumi avidyara bhare. You came into this world saying, oh my Lord, I will certainly worship you. But having forgotten his promise, you have remained in great ignorance. So, the child in the mother's womb is in a very uncomfortable position. Your Russian and Indian and American doctors can never say why the child comes out of the mother's womb crying. Even the atheist at the moment of difficulty remembers God. We may not believe in God, but when you're in difficulty and the child is feeling pain from all sides, the modern scientists cannot explain why after the 6th month of pregnancy, the child moves in the womb of the mother. He moves in the movement of the mother because the child is very uncomfortable in that position. And the child is trying to avoid the attack of the worms. So in that difficult position, the child realizes, yes, I have committed a lot of sins for which I'm suffering. Then the child prays to the Lord, please release me from this terrible position of pain. And when I come out, I promise you, I will serve you. But as we all know, we promise so many things in difficult situations and then we forget all our promises. Just like sometimes a chain smoker is suffering from a bad cough and the doctor tells him don't smoke. So when the disease is on, the chain smoker says, okay, now I won't smoke, I promise. But the moment the cough is over, he begins to smoke. Isn't it? All of you have experience of this? Sometimes you get diseased and you make all sorts of promises. But then the next minute those promises are broken. So similarly, when one is in the mother's womb and one has pious activities in his background, then the living entity prays to the Lord, please release me and I will engage in your service. So in the womb of the mother, the individual prays to the Lord, please save me and I will definitely worship you. But having come out of the mother's womb, one forgets the promise and continues to remain in ignorance. So you understand how nicely Thakur Bhaktivinoda is presenting the point. Then he says, Tumhare laite hame hainu avatara, hame bina bandhuara 𝐾𝐢𝐬𝐭𝐫𝐚𝐜𝐿 tumhara. So he's saying that I, the Vaishnava devotee, have taken birth just to save you. Our political leaders are saying, give me this vote. I'm fighting this election just for you. But you know that he's not fighting the election for us. He's fighting the election to satisfy his own ego. That here's an important position in society which I can get. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that I have appeared just to bring you back to Godhead. So a devotee of the Lord takes his birth to save the conditioned souls from the cycle of birth and death. He has no other purpose in life. So Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying that I have descended just to save you. We all claim that we have a lot of friends. We are on the telephone talking to them. In Russia it's not so bad, but in America they're on the telephone all the time. Now in America they have telephones in cars. People are so busy they think that even in the car when they're driving, they must have the telephone with them. I mean, every house there has 2 cars. If you go into any of our temple's parking lot, there are at least 20, 30 cars standing in the... So, everybody is busy talking because everybody thinks he's everyone's friend. But Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying, no, you have no friend. I'm your friend. When you come to spiritual life, all your relatives and friends, they say, why did you go to spiritual life? We care for you, so you should stay with us. Don't take the spiritual life at such a young age. And what is young? And what is considered young age? A few days before your death. We have experience in India that even when 60-year-old people want to come to spiritual life, the relatives say, you're so young. How can you leave us and go away? The children will cry at home and will miss you. So these 60-year-old people, they come to us and say, I know I must join you full time. But my grandchildren and children are saying, no, without me they will die. So the living entity becomes falsely proud and he falls under the illusion that without him, the show will not go on. So Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying, all these people are not your friends. He's saying that I have appeared just to save you. So all of you who have come to Krishna consciousness have a purpose in your appearance. And that purpose is to bring the other conditioned souls back to Godhead. The Vaishnava is a friend of everyone, even of the trees and plants. Just like we were doing Harinam in the morning, in the park. But when we did by this Harinam, all the entities benefited. The human beings benefited and the trees benefited. The grass benefited. Even those flies that were against you, they also benefited. This is the nature of a devotee. He has no enemy. Doesn't matter how much the other person may try to trouble you. The devotee is always his well-wisher. So the only real friend of everyone is the devotee of the Lord. So the devotee descends just to save the Supreme, just to broadcast the Supreme Lord's glories. So Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying that, my dear Lord, I have descended just to save the conditioned souls. I am the best friend of all living entities. He has no enemies. Doesn't matter how much the other person may try to trouble you. The devotee is always his well-wisher. So the only real friend of everyone is the devotee of the Lord. So the devotee descends just to save the Supreme, just to broadcast the Supreme Lord's glories. So Thakur Bhaktivinoda's statements are very, very important for spiritual development. So the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord, and even though the society may laugh at us, criticize us, or whatever, we do not stop our service to Guru and Krishna. So the devotees of the Lord have appeared to broadcast the glories of Lord Chaitanya's message. So one who is engaged in broadcasting the glories of Lord Chaitanya, he is a well-wisher of everyone. Then Thakur Bhaktivinoda says, Ene chiye sodhi maya nasiba lagi, Hari Naam Maha Mantra lao tumi magi. So Chaitanya, Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying that he has a medicine with him. When you get diseased, how can you cure yourself? When you take the medicine. Without taking the medicine, you cannot cure yourself. So Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying, this is the medicine for destroying Maya. This is the medicine for developing love of God. This is the medicine for finding real happiness. This is the medicine to become free from the cycle of birth and death. So one who takes to this Krishna conscious process is and one who doesn't take to God consciousness is very unfortunate. So Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying that I have the medicine by which Maya can be destroyed. Just like I gave the example that you may have fog which can be destroyed by light, by the sun. So this illusion of sense gratification can be destroyed by this holy name. Because this holy name is our most valuable asset. Knowingly or unknowingly, anybody who chants the holy names will get spiritual benefit. So Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying, my dear friend, I have this medicine for destroying the illusion of Maya. Now it doesn't mean that this Harinam is only for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given this Harinam to the whole planet. This Harinam is a special benediction for humanity at large. So Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying, I have come just to save you. Nobody else can save you. You may have so many friends and relatives, but they can't save you. They can't save themselves. So how can they save others? Isn't it? So Thakur Bhaktivinoda says, please take my medicine. No other medicine is going to work. So Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying, now please take this element, take this medicine of Krishna Naam and thereby expand the philosophy for the benefit of others. So Harinam Maha Mantra is our greatest asset. Nothing is more valuable than the holy names of the Lord. You know that story of Sanatana Goswami and the touchstone? Some of you may know, some not the whole story. Huh? Everybody knows? No. So once there was a Brahmin. He had pleased the demigod Lord Shiva. And as a result, Lord Shiva had given him a benediction. Then he can become the richest man. So he was told to go to Vrindavan. And that great sage would give him the medicine by which he can become a millionaire. So when this Brahman requested Sanatana Goswami, the Lord Chaitanya said, you have something which would make me the richest man. Yeah, the man said, okay. The demigod said, okay. And he told him that I have been sent by the demigod Lord Shiva because you have something which will make me the richest man. So the Sanatana Goswami said, okay, I have a touchstone. Where is that touchstone? There, under the heap of garbage. So the Brahmin took the touchstone. Wherever he touched it, it became gold. He was happy. I'm going to be the richest man now. Imagine if we had a touchstone that could convert everything to gold. Then he would have no economic problems. So this Brahman met an intelligent man. The intelligent man said, where did you get the touchstone from? It's really turning everything to gold. Can I get one also? Sure. So the Brahman said, He told him the whole story. I had pleased Lord Shiva. Then Lord Shiva sent me to Vrindavan to the sage Sanatana Goswami. And Sanatana Goswami had this stone that he had kept under a heap of garbage. So the learned man said, if this was the most valuable possession that this great sage had, why did he keep it under the heap of garbage? You don't keep your diamonds in the garbage, do you? You generally keep your valuable things in a safe, isn't it? So the Brahmin said, what you're saying makes a lot of sense. So that means this man must be having something more valuable than this touchstone. So he went running back to the sage Sanatana Goswami. He said, I asked you to give me the most expensive benediction that you can give me. He said, I gave you that. And the Brahmin said, if this was the most expensive benediction that you could give, why did you keep this under that heap of garbage? So the sage Sanatana Goswami said, do you want that expensive benediction? He said, yes. Then Sanatana Goswami said, now throw this touchstone away. So then the Brahmin started hesitating. Just like when you come to spiritual life, we tell you, now give up your Maya. Give up illicit sex, gambling, intoxication, and meat eating. And you hesitate. So Sanatana Goswami told him, throw that touchstone away. And the Brahmin was really hesitating. Then finally the Brahmin threw that touchstone away. And then the great sage gave him the highest benediction. And what was that? Harinam mantra. Harinam. The Hare Krishna mantra. So this Hare Krishna mantra is the highest benediction you can get. Even if you get 1,000,000 rubles tomorrow, do they have lotteries in Russia? What is the first prize in these lottery tickets? 10,000. So anyway, even if you win the first prize in the Russian lottery tomorrow, how long can you enjoy this money? In the Bhagavatam it is said, the moment you have money, you'll have so many enemies. First, the government will say, how come you're keeping it? Give it to me. I want to tax you. Then the relatives will say, you have to give it to, the wife will say, you have to buy me some nice clothes. And I must have some jewelry. Look at all the other wives. They all have so much jewelry. And all the children and relatives will say, Daddy, you promised me this, you promised me that. So your life will become more miserable. Therefore, I have seen all over the world where I travel, all rich people are suffering from so many ulcers. And then they have to worry where to hide their money. So Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying, now take this Maha Mantra. This is the highest benediction you can get. There is nothing higher than this. I have brought this medicine specially for you. This medicine is made in the laboratory in Vaikuntha. So when the medicine is made in the laboratory in Vaikuntha, it has to be perfect. So this Hare Krishna mantra, this is not coming from India. This is coming from Krishna Loka. Just like you can get on the telephone and speak to somebody, dial a number, speak directly to India. If you just shout, hello, hello, nobody in India will hear. But if you shout inside the telephone, hello, hello, then they will hear. So similarly, if you want to speak to Krishna, if we just say, Krishna, Krishna, where are you? He won't listen to you. But if you dial the Hare Krishna number, Krishna has a private unlisted telephone number. But that number is not in your Moscow telephone directory. And that is the Hare Krishna mantra. So Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying that I brought this medicine for you. Now please take it. Please, please take it. The devotee with straw in his mouth falls at the feet and tells the other person, please take to this Krishna consciousness. So then Thakur Bhaktivinoda says, Bhaktivinoda Prabhu Charane Pariya Sai Hari Nama Mantra Loilo Magiya. Is it raining outside? We did kirtan, now the rain has come. So Thakur Bhaktivinoda is falling at the feet of Lord Chaitanya. And he begged Lord Chaitanya, please give me the holy name. Then he received the Maha Mantra. So the devotee has to beg the Guru, please give me the Maha Mantra. And then he will get it. Thakur Bhaktivinoda prayed, Lord Chaitanya, please give me the Maha Mantra. And then he received it. The point is, we should not take this Maha Mantra very cheaply. Sometimes devotees think, I will take to this Harinam when I want, and I will leave it when I want. We don't give it special respect. And because we take it so lightly, we fall into Maya. When you have some valuable diamonds with you, are you not very careful? You don't leave the diamonds on the road and go away somewhere else. You're always holding it next to your chest. So you should hold the Harinam next to your chest. Make sure it doesn't fall. Make sure you never forget to chant. Harinam is our insurance against Maya. Sometimes people say, what can I do? In Kali Yuga there's only Maya. So what to, therefore I'm also in Maya. But there is a solution. Just like now it's raining. So what is the solution? Take an umbrella and go out. You don't say, it's raining, what can I do? Let me get wet in the rain. When it's very cold in the winter, you don't say, let me fall sick. I will fall sick. What can I do? It is cold. No, you wear woolen clothing. You put the heat on in the house. You cover your head, your hand, your feet, everything to make sure that you don't catch the cold. So similarly, you should cover all these senses by engaging them in a positive way so that Maya doesn't touch you. This is the prayer of Thakur Bhaktivinoda. There is one other verse which I want to read from another prayer that Thakur Bhaktivinoda wrote. And after that, we'll have some questions, vaprosi, and then prasad. Or if all of you are hungry, after that you can have prasad and then vaprosi, okay? Jivana anitya janaha sar tahi naha vida vipada bhar namashraya kori jatane tumi taha karapana kaje. So Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying, you must understand that life is temporary. So today you may be only 18 or 20 years old. And you may say, the average age of the Russian woman is 70 years old or 75. What is the average age of the Russian woman? The average age of the American man when he dies is 78 years. Anyway, so I imagine in Russia it must be at least 75 or 74 or maybe even 80. So you may say I'm only 20 years old. Average age of Russian man and woman is 80 years. So I still have 60 more years left to live. But there is no guarantee that you will live till 80, that you will live till you're 80 years. Even now the average age may be 80. People are dying at every age group. The Bhagavatam says, Padam yat vipadam natesham. There is danger at every step. You never know when your last step is going to be. So please understand, today your body is very beautiful, but tomorrow it's going to become ugly. Today your voice is very sweet, tomorrow you're going to become outdated. Like who was the best singer in Russia 20 years ago? Anyway, the best singer today is not the same who was there 20 years ago. And even if your body is very healthy tomorrow you could get a new disease. Therefore Thakur Bhaktivinoda is saying, please take shelter of the holy name and remain always engaged in the service of the Lord. And consider this chanting of the holy name as your occupation. Just like they say, I'm a doctor or engineer. So they say, this chanting of holy name should be your occupation. There's one more verse that I want to read and then we can, number 3. So, Lord Chaitanya was calling out to all the people of the town and saying, and in the daytime, you just want to decorate your body and you just want to run after money. So don't waste your time. Fill your mouth with the holy name and chant his name without offense. Hare Krishna. So any vaprose? I'll take 3 or 4 vaproses now. Did you all understand something? I have decided to do a 2-month course in Russian language when I go back to India. Well, to take disciples, you have to need a very high level of spiritual maturity. Okay, so I think it's time for you to have Alexina Prashad. Prashad's ready? So listen, it's 10 minutes to 5. We will start again at 5:30 or 5:45, and we'll take a verse from this Bhagavad Gita, the new edition. And then I will go on till... Okay?